everybody, welcome back to 5-9 Gaming. It is your boy, the Master Ningen, and we are here to bring you another episode of our fan-made cards series. This time, we are going to be focusing on the EZA for the Prime Battle Int Super Saiyan Vegeta that was revealed a little while ago. Obviously, with the way these Prime Battle LR EZAs have been turning out, some of them definitely very, very strong. So we're all very hyped over here to see what this guy is going to look like once his EZA details are finally released. But as always with this series, we asked you guys to fill out our form and let us know what you think the design for his EZA should be. So before we get into those, let us go ahead and jump over and look at this man pre-EZA. Okay, so this is what Vegeta is looking like currently in game before EZA. Pure Saiyans category, 3 key, HP, attack and defense 70%. So obviously this definitely needs a significant increase to be meta relevant. His 12 key super attack just does colossal damage to the enemy, no special effect. And then his ultra super attack is greatly raises attack for 1 turn and does mega colossal damage to the enemy. His passive skill is attack 15,000 and defense 20,000. Plus an additional attack 15,000 and launches 2 additional attacks for 4 turns after receiving an attack. So obviously in the same vein as the older Prime Battle LRs, they all have these flat boost numbers, but we have seen in the past that the EZA usually bumps these up to being percentages, which is of course much better as it scales better with the constant increase in the leader skill percentages. So definitely, considering he doesn't really have a super attack effect on his 12 key, his 18 key only raises attack, and then aside from getting some additional attacks which will only be normals and a bit of an attack boost, he is pretty much a blank slate. So I'm very much looking forward to seeing the ideas that you guys have put forward. So without further ado, let us jump over to the first member of the 5-9 team who has picked out their favorite entry. Take it away.
Hello 5-9 gamers, my name is Vilify, and today I'm going to be reacting to a fan-made concept for the Int Prime Battle Vegeta's EZA. Now, this response comes from Queen Itsuki, sorry if I said that wrong, on Twitter, and their concept for Vegeta goes as follows. Now, for their leader skill, we have a decent leader skill, especially for a free-to-play unit, being Pure Saiyan's key for an attack, all stats 130%. Now, for their 12 key super attack effect, we see that they have raises attack and defense for 1 turn and causes colossal damage to the enemy. Now, I think that's good, especially considering all the additionals that this guy does. You're going to be seeing a lot of supers, hopefully, so you can get a lot of defensive raises in there. And, you know, raising attack and defense obviously would be ideal. I think just getting the defense in there especially is what we're looking for. But for a free-to-play unit, I do think these super attack effects are... you know, I think it's kind of wishful thinking, but it definitely is possible to have attack and defense for both. But I think it's more than likely we see attack and defense for one of the two, and then probably attack for both. For the 18 key super effect, we have greatly raises attack and defense for 1 turn and causes mega colossal damage. I think that's good. You know, same effect as the other one, but instead of colossal, it is mega colossal damage. I'm perfectly okay with that. Like I said, again, I don't think it's going to raise attack and defense, especially both turns, but I do understand that the difference between the two is greatly raises and raises. I think for a free-to-play unit, getting a great raise and then another raise for attack and defense, most turns it feels like is going to be, you know, especially for a free-to-play unit, I feel like that is going to be a little bit too much in this case, but I am definitely a fan of how they have designed their super attack effects. You know, if I were to do anything different, it would probably just be that, you know, if I'm like thinking of it from a realistic perspective, I would say the 12 key just raises attack and causes just causes colossal damage rather than raise attack and defense. Though I would prefer, if this comes out the way it does, I think this is really ideal for a free-to-play unit. A Pure Saiyan leader that has greatly raises attack and defense, then raises attack and defense. That is 100% something that we are looking for going forward. And then the post-EZA passive, we have start of turn attack plus 40 and defense plus 60. I think if I were to do anything, just go 50-50 on that. We don't really need to favor defense, like, because you're already doing the thing here where attack and defense both raises at the same time, so we might as well make it the same amount. Then I do like this, plus an additional 10% defense up to 60% with each attack performed. We do know that this unit is going to be doing a lot of additionals, so we are going to see the 60% probably done within two turns of them being on the on rotation, getting up to that 60% real quick. So the one thing about that is they're going to be fully built up by turn 5, which isn't bad. You can get to turn 5 in Super Battle Road, Extreme Super Battle Road, Red Zone, all different types of difficult content. But again, this is one of those free-to-play units. We don't know if the numbers are going to be high enough in order for it to be a viable option in stuff like ESBR and SBR compared to some of the other summonable units that we have. But, if we see something like this, I am a fan. And attack plus 40% when performing a super attack. I like that because we're going to have this unit's probably going to super more than once most of the time. And then we have this part right here. I wasn't the biggest fan of, but I understand what they're going for. It says that launches 2 additional attacks with a rare chance of being a super attack for 6 turns after receiving an attack. Now, just personally, I have never been a fan of the receiving an attack first to get the buffs, because a unit like this, you're probably not going to want to put in slot 1, and the best way to get their buffs as quick as possible and get all this extra stuff is going to be to put them in slot 1 with this kit. And I think that it would be better to put them in slot 2 with all this stuff going on. I really like how this is designed, though. I think this is a good unit. Like I said, I would rather it be just the 2 additional attacks with a rare chance anyway for 6 turns rather than it being receiving an attack. But I do understand the idea of balance that they were going for with this unit. I think it's definitely realistic, especially for a free-to-play EZA. I think the most unrealistic thing to me is the raising of attack and defense on both super attack effects, but overall, I do like this unit. Again, this is user Queen Itsuki on Twitter. Thank you very much for your submission. We will now move along to the next creator. Thank you.
Hello 5'9" dudes, Tystra here, and we are back again, obviously, as 5'9", with a new fan card submission, and we are talking about Int Prime Battle Vegeta. And I am excited for this because I love Int Prime Battle Vegeta, or I really just like his art. I am very happy that he is going to be getting an EZA finally, because, well, it's about time these guys get awakened. Now, special shout out to VHIP, I'm guessing is how you say it. If not, let me know in the comments, VHIP, if I said this wrong. But I really like this submission. It's very subtle, and it's not overpowered in my personal opinion. So let's go ahead and get into it. We got Pure Saiyan's category, Ki plus 3, HP attack and defense plus 130%, which is normal for these Prime Battle Awakenings, or at least that's what we got with Trunks. We got the first 12 key super here, which is raises defense, which is going to be infinite, which again is like a love of mine. So if you guys want me to review your things, make sure you're doing infinitesimals of defense. So raises defense and causes colossal damage to the enemy. That is actually, a pretty standard one. Raises defense infinitely is perfect, and it's obviously a lot better than his normal 12 key. Let's go ahead and talk about the 18 key super now. Greatly raises attack and defense for 1 turn, lowers enemy attack, and causes mega colossal damage. Now, I'm not a big fan of the lowering when it comes to lowering attack or defense, because I feel, again, one of my things with Dokkan is that I truly feel that lowering attack and lowering defense of the enemy doesn't really help. But at the same time, you're still getting that greatly raises attack and defense for 1 turn. And honestly, I think you would mainly be going for the 12 key super in the first place. So hitting that 18 key, you have a small benefit to it. You get that mega colossal damage. But overall, I'd be hitting that 12 key until I have enough defense anyway. So that works out. Now, let's go ahead and get into the passive, because honestly, you could do even better than really the previous passive. Anyway, so Ki plus 2 in attack and defense plus 120%. Nice start. Guards against all attacks for the first 3 turns. Plus an additional 7% of attack and defense per attack performed, up to 70%. An additional attack plus 15% gains 30% damage reduction, and launches 2 additional attacks for 4 turns after receiving attack. So, this is already a lot better, because the main thing about Prime Battle Vegeta was the 2 additional attacks for 4 turns after receiving an attack. Now, with this change of 12 key super giving you defense infinitely, you're getting the 120% defense at the start, And then you're also getting the guards against all attacks for 3 turns, which is going to be a big thing for you because of the fact that you're going to want to put him into that attack position in that first or second slot. You're going to want to receive those attacks, and you're going to be attacking for 2 additional times, which means that you could possibly get 2 additional supers. Now, again, the chances are very slim, but I digress. You still have those chances so that you can continue to boost your defense, and, you know, he'd be great. You know, I think that this would be a perfect easy A for Int Prime Battle Vegeta. So, again, thank you to VHIP. Deeply appreciate your submission, and guys, we will catch you guys in the next fan-made card here on 5-9 Gaming.
Hello 5-9 gamers, it's Minato here, and let's hop into another fan-made submission. This is a fan-made submission for the Prime Battle Vegeta, of course, and I'm very excited for his EZA. I know it's been something that we've all been waiting for quite some time, so let's hop right into this one. This one was made by Say No to Rising Rush. Say No to RR, right? Rising Rush, we all know that's, if you play Legends, it's quite annoying, but yeah, let's go see here. The leader skill that they made is Key 3 and 120% to all stats for the Pure Saiyans category, which is definitely a very plausible leader skill. I think Future Trunks gave 4 Key and 130% to Future Saga, right? But I could definitely see it around this range, and being Pure Saiyans, very good for that. Their 12 Key super attack, they do make it so that they raise attack and defense for 1 turn and cause colossal damage. Getting something on the super attack effect is very nice, because as we know, the Prime Battle Vegeta currently does not have any super attack effects right here. And so we definitely I would love to see that extra 30% here on the 12 key. Just in case you get that additional, maybe you can't get the 18 key even. Having at least that little raise is very important. The 18 key super attack greatly raises attack and defense for 1 turn, and of course causes mega colossal damage. That 50% raise is very good to me. I'll definitely take that. Now, this is where the unit is the meat of the unit right here, right? The actual passive. They get attack a plus 100% and defense plus 150%. This makes sense because if you take a look at him pre-EZA, he gets more defense and less attack, right? However, he gains an additional 100% attack and then launches 2 additional attacks, each of which have a rare chance to become a super attack for 4 turns after receiving an attack. This is basically right here. This is the same as the AGL Blue Evolution Vegeta, which is fine, right? However, getting this additional 100% attack is very strong, and it's multiplicative against this, so it's going to work very well. Even though it's only for 4 turns, I think that's fine. And then on top of that, it does get Key 3 and then Guaranteed Guard when facing an Extreme Class enemy, which will be very powerful for Red Zone stages. This guy having the 150% defense and the Great Raise, even if he's just a floater, he will have pretty solid defense, and he does give Android Cell Saga category allies 2 key and 30% attack and defense. So in total, he gets 180% defense, which is the same number, funny enough, if you count the 3 right here, the 3 key as well. And the guard could be very strong. He could do potentially 4 super attacks. Usually you probably won't see that, but he could do 4 attacks in the battle. Getting this additional attack right here could be very strong. I really like the design for Vegeta. I would say if there's one thing I personally really want would be for him to get guard, but yeah, I feel like I've rambled on long enough. Let's hop into the next submission.
Hey there guys, what is going on? Gil right here. I'm here to talk about another fan-made card, this time from Sacred Echo 00. This is of course for in Prime Battle SSJ Vegeta, who I'm very curious to see how they make him, because Trunks was decent, but I really liked how they did Goku and Frieza, especially Frieza. I think everybody loved how Frieza was made, right? So let's see what Sacred Echo has here for us to talk about in terms of Vegeta's EZA potential. And he's given him Pure Saiyans category Key plus 3 HP attack and defense 150. That would be amazing. I don't remember what they gave Trunks, I'm not gonna lie. It has been a minute since I've seen Trunks, to be quite honest. But I do believe at least anything between 130 to 150 is a great option, because you have to remember, this is a free-to-play unit, right? And for an average player who might just be starting the game and, you know, they want to probably, let's say, farm Prime Battle Vegeta, albeit it'll probably take some time in getting him to Prime Battle Vegeta's maximum potential with his easy and all, he'll become a great free-to-play leader as a result of that. So if they give him anything between 130 to 150, in my opinion, it's a great free-to-play option for sure. Hands down, really, really good. His post easy at 12 key super attack effect is raises attack and defense for 1 turn and causes colossal damage to the enemy. I think that's great because right now he has nothing on his super attack effect on 12 key, so anything is good, to be honest, and that is just pretty much perfect in my opinion. I don't think it's too crazy because I don't see them making him too crazy, but it's just right and exactly what he needs. His post easy 18 key super attack effect is greatly raises attack and defense infinitely and causes mega colossal damage and greatly lowers defense. Now I'm pretty sure he keeps the current version of Prime Battle Vegeta has the greatly lowers defense portion, so him giving him infinite stats, I don't see it necessarily happening, but if anything, I would love for them to give him a greatly raises attack and defense for like 3 turns or something, because that just makes him super valuable, especially when you look at his kit in terms of his passive, right? So his passive, post EZA that is going to be attack and defense 120 and 100 respectively, and then key plus 5 and attack and defense 50% for 6 turns after receiving an attack. Great, I love that. I think that's great. Just gives him that higher chance of getting that 18 key, and on top of that getting that extra stack, which is going to be, if I'm not mistaken, multiplicative instead of additional, which is good because that'll be a bigger stack rather than just being an add-on 50%. He also launches 2 additional attacks, each of which have a medium chance of becoming a super attack for the rest of the battle after receiving an attack. That's fantastic. I do not want it to be a limited amount of turns or anything of that sort, because if I'm not mistaken, currently it's only a limited amount of turns he can use that against those additional attacks. I could be wrong again, it has been a minute since I've looked into Prime Battle Vegeta, but if it's gonna be here for the rest of the battle, fantastic. I absolutely love it, I think, especially with the easy 12 key and 18 key super attack effect. I think especially that probably will curb it down a little bit as a result, and that's why I think an infinite stack with this sort of a passive, a bit OP if I do say so myself. And then a high chance to perform a critical hit when facing an Android / Cell Saga category enemy. Pretty box standard, I think that's completely fine. Overall, if it's anything like this, hands down, one of the best free-to-play units in the game at this point in time, hands down. He looks so good just like this. So for me, if they go anything close to this, it'll be fantastic. Like I said, only some minor adjustments I would have is primarily that 18 key super attack effect would probably be brought down a little bit. Otherwise, hands down, I would love this card. Absolutely, this is what I would want for sure. Anyways, we move on to the next content creator who'll be going over another fan-made card. So segue in.
Hey guys, Joe Wags here, going through the fan-made cards for Int Prime Battle Vegeta. So I'm going to go ahead and pick out one here that I thought was pretty interesting, and also one that I think is very realistic that I think they could go with. The Int Vegeta has a very kind of simple kit laid out, so I think some people were a little creative with it, which I kind of like here. So we're going to go ahead and take a look at this one here by Xenosage 123. So for the leader skill, he's got Pure Saiyan's Key 4, HP attack and defense 130. I think that's like a 99.99% chance that's what it's going to be. Based on the Prime Battle Trunks, he went up to Key 4 and 130 for his leader skill, so I think it's pretty much guaranteed that that's what Vegeta is going to be, so we hit that spot on. And then we got the 12 key and the 18 key. So Vegeta's previous 12 key did nothing. It was just colossal damage. So he has raises defense for 1 turn and does colossal. I feel like a defense raise is almost a certainty at this point. Older units like this that get easy A's, we need more defense. So I think getting at least a defense raise, if not an attack and defense raise, is pretty highly likely for the Vegeta, right? Unless they decide to give him like a stun gimmick or something like that, which they could do, but I'm hoping defense is in there, which is why I picked this one. And then for the 18 key, I think previously it was greatly raise attack for 1 turn. Actually, it might be both. Let me double check here really quick. Yeah, so on the 18 key, it's just greatly raise attack for 1 turn. So he's adding greatly raise attack and defense for 1 turn. So I think that is very good, adding the defense onto the 18 key. So basically, he's just slapping defense onto the 12 and 18 key, which I think is very, very good. I would even love to see like a 3 to 6 turn stack. Like that would be really, really good. But I want that on like every unit. So I think this, at least at a bare minimum, giving us that 1 turn defense stack, I think is good. And then what he has here for the passive, Vegeta is one of those, the Prime Battles had like flat number of passives. So obviously we're going to get percent boost, which is really good. And I think it's assumed that he will get some type, they're going to replace the flat numbers with percentages. The question is what type of percentages are we going to see, right? So in this example, he's got Ki +3 at start of turn, so that would be new for him, and Ki is a struggle for this in Vegeta, so I think getting some Ki would actually be very, very good for him. And then he's got attack and defense 70% and 20% damage reduction at the start of turn. So I think that's very interesting, because I think the way that this is set up, with the amount of defense in the passive, I think his defense would just be okay. So having that little bit of damage reduction, I think would be really, really helpful, right? So, and I know it's one of those things, like, we want units to be more defensive, and the thing is red zone is a thing, right? So, like, any unit that comes out now, we're always going to be comparing to red zone, and are they viable in there? And I think for this Vegeta to be viable, unless his defense stat, they just go crazy with the defense percent in his passive, he's going to need some type of either damage reduction or guard ability, right? So I like that he had a little bit of damage reduction in there. And then he has gain an additional 2 Ki and attack and defense 70% and another 10% damage reduction, and launches 2 additional attacks, each of which have a chance to be a medium chance to be a super attack for 4 turns after receiving an attack. Okay, so Vegeta previously had the gimmick where, like, if he got hit, he would have that chance to launch the 2 additional attacks. So basically, he's just adding in more attack and defense passive in there, and then the extra damage reduction. So I would get him up to 30% damage reduction, right? So that's actually not too bad. But yeah, before it was just for 4 turns, he would have launching the 2 additional attacks. I actually wouldn't even mind seeing this go up a little bit, like to 5 or 6 turns, which I think is possible. But I do feel like they are going to do something else with that. And here's the thing here that I really like. Is he says gain a high chance to perform a crit for the rest of turn if this character attacks in the first slot. Gain a high chance to perform an additional super if this character is in the second or third slot. So I like that there's kind of just this different idea of, like, what slot you put the character in, and I kind of wish they did this with more characters, because it gives you a little bit more strategy to where you slide them. You don't just necessarily slide a character wherever you want. But the fact that this guy has 20% damage reduction and then another 10% after getting hit is kind of encouraging you to put him in slot 1. And then because he's most likely going to get hit, he's going to have the additionals built in and then have that high chance to crit. So, like, I see this as being a slot 1 unit. So having the damage reduction is really, really good there. But then if you decide to put him in slot 2, since you're not going to get hit and have that, the additional super attacks necessarily, you could have that high chance to do the additional super built in there. And the other thing is because this is a 4-turn passive, right? You could put him in slot 1, turn 1, get hit, get the passive activated, and then the next time he comes around, you could put him in slot 2. Then you would have all the stuff from being in slot 1 and getting hit, and then adding on in slot 2, getting the extra chance to do more additionals, which could be very, very good, right? So anyways, there you go, guys. That's the one that I thought was kind of interesting. Let us know what you think in the comments. We'll pass it off to the next one.
Okay, so last but not least, we have my pick for this episode, which comes to us from FTW Studios 99. So he has set for the post-EZA leader skill, Pure Saiyan category, Ki +3, HP attack and defense 130%. I do think this is very good. I feel like anything less than 120% is kind of pointless at this point, even though it is a free-to-play unit. So 130% I think is definitely fine. The post-EZA 12 Ki super attack effect is raises defense for 1 turn. And obviously would be colossal damage. And then the 18 Ki super is greatly raises both attack and defense for 1 turn, and obviously that would be mega colossal damage. So this is obviously very good. If he gets additional super attacks, he's going to be raising his defense by a pretty significant amount. And then the post EZA passive is Ki +2, attack and defense 60%. So having a little bit of Ki, obviously good. 60% attack and defense, which isn't a huge amount to start out the turn, but he guards enemy attacks when there is an Android/Cell Saga category enemy or ally attacking in the same turn. So that's not the worst restriction in the world for some of the teams you're going to be running him on. Android/Cell Saga or Vegeta family category allies, Ki +2, attack and defense 20%. So he can be run as a support unit. Something like that makes it nice for, players who maybe have more of a sort of whale level account. Still gives you a reason to run him, right, if you can use him as a support unit on some of these teams. So Ki +1 and defense 10% with each attack performed, up to Ki 5 and defense 60%, and then attack 60% and launch 2 additional attacks each of which have a chance to become a super attack after receiving an attack for 5 turns. So obviously giving him that chance to get a bunch of additional supers if you get good RNG after receiving the attack. And as we mentioned before, those additional supers would of course be the 12 key, which are raising his defense even more for that turn. So this guy on his best turn, his defense would be looking really, really good. And then he gets an additional attack and defense, 60%, and performs a guaranteed additional super attack when facing 2 or more enemies. So obviously this gives him a little bit of extra utility in Super Battle Road, because he's getting the guaranteed additional super attack, which gives him another defense raise. And obviously this is not conditional on his being hit first. So even if you wanted to run him like as a floating support unit, he's going to get that guaranteed additional super in Super Battle Road and get that extra defense buff. So I definitely think that is a very good entry. I'd be pretty happy if this is what his EZA turned out to look like. So shout out to FTW Studios 99. And of course, shout out to everybody who submitted an entry. Even if you didn't make it into the video, obviously the team always enjoys looking through all of these different concepts, but there's only so many that can go into the video. So if you didn't make it in this time, don't feel too disheartened. Make sure you submit an entry next time, and hopefully you will be featured in a future video. So shout out to everybody who did submit an entry, everyone who made it into the video, and all of the members of the 5-9 team that picked out one of their favorites. Let us know down below in the comment section which one was your favorite, and let us know your ideas for how you would make his EZA if you did not get to submit an entry. So that is going to be it for all of us here over at 5-9 Gaming. Make sure you are subscribed to the channel, follow all of our social medias, and we will see you all again soon. Peace out.